Alright, hey, I'm gonna do a little video covering my playthrough of Manipur and Europa Universalis 4 because these games take like a bazillion years, and rather than having you guys watch a whole playthrough, I figured just doing a quick recap will make it pretty easy. My historical score doesn't really matter, but I guess I was in first over here with 9,000. Here's my little flag. Religion was animist. Didn't change all the way through, though it's kind of part of the challenge of this run. Animist is probably the worst religion in the game, but we ran through with it using its greatly increased unrest mechanics to our advantage. Played as Manipur. My longest reigning ruler is 54 years. 117 of our wars ended in victory. 0 ended in defeat. Saw a loss of this many units. We wiped 35 nations from the face of the earth. We annexed 367 provinces. State religion is animist, and my grandest province was 60 development. 0 disasters hit our nation. These are just ideas. These don't really mean anything. At the end of the game, we ended with 3 stability, 25 prestige, and 52 ideas, which is pretty solid, and 136% religious unity, which is pretty good as well. Our navy was 235 out of 237, and our force limit was 249 out of 759. It's really expensive. The more troops you have, I don't think I could have supported 759 troops, but who knows? Okay. Now we're going to click this handy little button here called Show Timeline. And this is going to take us back to the very start of the game. And so there's a whole lot of nice countries over here in the India area. I could have chosen any of them. Instead, I chose Little Manipur right here. Yeah. This is a good start. What's a neat little thing is you can see the flags of the territory I'm going to own ahead of time. Like you'll be able to see Korean flags over here, even though it's obviously Japan. Just a little detail you can see where eventually I'll be. But no, for right now I'm starting right here, and I believe I'm gonna knock out Tripura and Kachar pretty much immediately here. So pretty small. We have some large competitors around, but we also have some smaller people that potentially I can take out. This run was when I was definitely like, I think I might just die immediately and not get anywhere, especially if Bengal picks on me. But thankfully, Orissa ends up beating up on Bengal quite a bit, so I think this will turn, it turns out actually pretty good. So we're going to get things started here. We're going to speed it up a little bit. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I attack these guys. Yep, I take out Gachar, then I take out Tripura right away. Next, I go for Assam. Yep, takes a little while. I'm not able to take all of Assam because people are getting a little bit upset with me. I'm not sure at this point if I own Sadia. It does take a little while to get that done. I think they're conquered by Hong Kong first, and then I release them. I jump on the bus and take out part of Bengal here. You can see Orissa just totally smash them. So I end up coming over here and taking them out. And one of the wonderful parts about this game is all these provinces belong to Bengal still. They're considered Bengali cores. So if I release Bengal as my own vassal nation, which is basically a nation under me, I can use Reconquest to take these cores back, and it makes for a lot easier war. I'm going to keep going for a little bit. Some funky stuff starts happening up here. I'm going to point out Sang up here. Sang is getting beat up pretty bad. They're going to be important later. Ava's chilling there. I'm pretty sure at this point Sadia is indeed my vassal. You notice Kale disappeared there. I actually didn't declare that war. Their overlord Ava would have defended them, and I wouldn't have been able to beat them. They actually had rebels spawn, and I just ended up winning over their provinces via random rebels. A little more time pass. Nothing too much. It gets a little bit crazy up here. I do not believe Tsang is my vassal yet, but once they become my vassal, it's going to get a little bit crazy up here. Yeah. I believe this is the point where I make Tsang my vassal, so I end up fighting you and Kam up here. And since Tsang had a core on all these provinces, I use Reconquest to get back all of Tsang's cores. So Tsang is my vassal, and as you can see, like I said before, I released Bengal. Reconquest is really important. I want you to remember Reconquest for later, because when nations get conquered, they leave their cores behind, and Reconquest makes things really easy. And so we're going to take a look over at Ming here, the Ming Dynasty, which is ruling over China, and I want you to remember Reconquest CD, because that's going to come important later. Delhi forms at this point. Ming is doing okay here. At this point, Ming gets in pretty big trouble, and they're starting to fracture, actually. So what happens is Ming is the emperor of China, so they're the celestial emperor, and they start to shatter as soon as their mandate gets too low, and they get a lot of unrest in their provinces. So we have Yi and Mao showing up, and they're going to keep shattering more and more. And pretty much what happens is a bunch of these countries are going to kind of dogpile on Ming as they're struggling to keep their unrest down and dealing with rebels nonstop. Korea's doing okay here, but they're going to get beaten up by Ashikaga here in a bit. We're gonna remember Korea for later, late game. So basically, everyone's going to start dogpiling on Ming right now and beating the crap out of them. You can see Landa already broke free. Meanwhile, I'm just reconquesting for Tsing a little bit. I believe at this point I have released Guj. Guj here is also my vassal, and we're going to use them to reconquest some provinces from Syrian later. This is going to sit pretty still here for a while. I'm not going to start moving up in this northern or western direction very much. I don't move very west at all. For a campaign that I thought was going to take place mostly in India, I do not do much in India. As you can see, I declare my first war in Ava here, and I actually, Mongkung here, Hisenbi here, is my vassal. I released them and used them to reconquer some provinces here. Okay, we're going to kind of let this play here. So it gets really crazy right about now. So Ming has totally collapsed, and the interesting thing about China collapsing is it creates all these tiny little nations. Oops. We're going to fast forward really fast till we get to where we were. Okay. Creates all these tiny little nations, and so what happens is you can claim the throne of China if you beat Ming. So what happens here is Lan Na here claims the celestial throne of China. The thing is, it's a bad idea to claim the celestial throne of China unless you own a specific 3 provinces: Canton, Nanjing, and Beijing, because those are considered the important Chinese provinces to hold, and your mandate will drop pretty quick if you don't hold those provinces, which pretty much ends up with you having low mandate, which ends up with you having really bad unrest, and you explode like Ming does. So Lana is going to explode, and then Ayutthaya here is actually going to claim the throne of China, and they're going to explode as well. You're going to see me react to this a little bit, because I actually am going to start going pretty crazy down here. I'm going to start expanding pretty rapidly. Yep, I'm going to take Arakan here. Going to take some stuff from Mongkong. I think I kill Kam and give it stuff to Tsang. Here's Ming, just keeps getting dogpiled on. I'm going to attack up here. I annex my vassal. Right now I'm friends with Ayutthaya, but I probably won't be for that long. Pegu conquers the rest of this guy, and then that's going to lead into me attacking Pegu here pretty quickly. Saying up here, you can see I actually did end up attacking Sirint, and I gave Guj all its cores back. I haven't done much else with it at this point yet. So we're going to zoom out a little bit more so we can keep track of what I'm doing. At this point, Ayutthaya kind of is restricting my expansion a lot here. I take out a bunch of Pegu's provinces, give some stuff back to Ava. Dali breaks free. Ming is almost completely just destroyed. Sara Gilgir up here is just going to chill for a while. I believe they're a vassal of Shun. I'm going to take out Calm again here pretty quick. They somehow managed to keep coming back. I don't know how. I'm going to keep beating up Ava. Yep, I take out Mong Pai. Lan Na just gets completely destroyed because they're the Celestial Emperor, and they shouldn't be. Ayutthaya, also Celestial Emperor, so you notice they're a lot bigger, but they're getting beaten up on by these smaller nations because they're really weak. Since they're Celestial Emperor, they have rebels everywhere. They're just getting beaten up really bad. I'm going to kind of join the dog pile on them pretty soon as well. Now that I've expanded Sang and given them all their cores back, you see Sang is huge. I'm going to start annexing them, so you're going to suddenly see all this stuff up here suddenly become part of my territory. And then you're going to see me kind of turn my eyes towards China a little bit. There we go. I jump on Ayutthaya and I beat them up quite a bit. I do not claim the Celestial Throne of China. I think Khmer has it at this point. You can only claim the Celestial Throne from someone you border, and you'll see me use that later because I don't want to take the Throne of China and have my country explode until later. You notice I'm able to... Everyone kind of dog piles onto Orissa down here, so I give Bengal some of their cores back. And I'm going to look to take out Dang here, and I think I attack Sirint here in a bit as well. And I release Punjab. Afghanistan just kind of chills the whole game. I think they form Persia later. There we go, some more expansion. I started expanding pretty rapidly down in this direction. Ayutthaya kind of taking some of their stuff back. Some crazy stuff happens here. Lan Na becomes my vassal. Sukhothai gets released by Ayutthaya's rebels, and I'm going to attack them pretty much immediately. I'm going to attack like all these dudes down here and take most of them out. And then I'm actually going to release Ayutthaya after they die. You see, there we go. I annexed Sang, so my territory grows pretty rapidly there. I'm a pretty big name on the map now. There we go. I start conquering more stuff in this direction. I've released Ayutthaya at this point, and I'm reconquesting them, as well as I own Lan Na, and I will expand for them a little bit as well. I leave a single province of Khmer's right here. This is on purpose. Khmer is going to sit there for a good 200 years. Conquering here, and I'm starting to move into China a little bit. Okay, and you see, suddenly, Ming is back for some reason. Hold on, that's a bit strange. But that's actually because I conquered these provinces here, and since Ming used to own all this territory, I re-released Ming as my own vassal. So now Ming is a vassal under me, and I'm able to reconquest pretty much all of China over here. Russia is getting involved in China, and so is Spain and the Ottomans, unfortunately. These guys cause some pretty big headaches for me later. I've pretty much taken over all of southern Indonesia there. Just more clearing up in China. I go pretty ham on China pretty quick. Still not doing much here. Delhi is just really strong. It may seem like I'm really large, but Delhi's had some good allies. They're allied with Afghanistan right now, I believe, and Afghanistan's pretty large. Vijayanagar is also really strong and stay pretty strong the whole game. And sometimes these countries will ally with like Russia, or they'll ally with Spain and France, and so I'm not really able to take them on. And I'm trying to secure my own allies, but for some reason, Russia rivals me as soon as they know of my existence, so there's nothing much I can do there. Currently, right now, my vassals are Guj, Ming, and Ayutthaya. I annexed Lan Na at this point. You can see I've claimed some more territory for Ming, and I'm just kind of carving away at China here as fast as I can. Everybody in China hates me at this point, so I kind of have to keep attacking them in order to prevent them from like creating a coalition. Expanded down here. This is pretty much as far as I go. I probably should have expanded farther into the Indonesian region here and taken out these guys and also attacked Pasai, but I don't really get to it, so Spain ends up taking most of that, unfortunately. Okay, see here, I actually attack up here with Guj. I'm probably going to end up annexing Guj pretty soon, and I release Yarkand. Yarkand is going to do a lot of good work up here for me. There we go. More aggressively attacking China. Alright, and I reconquest some stuff for Yarkand. And you can see I annexed Ayutthaya here. There's just one little Khmer province here. They are still the Celestial Emperor of China, but since no one borders them, no one can take the throne. So I'm going to wait till I own all the provinces I need to in order to claim the Celestial throne from them, but otherwise I'm just going to leave them there, one little tiny baby province. And they're going to sit there for like 200 years. Okay, we're going to keep beating up on China, reconquesting, giving Ming its stuff back. We're reconquest here some more. Yarkand. I annex Guj at this point, and I release a little guy called Punjab. I also vassalize this guy later down here, Multan, and you'll see them at the end of the game. So Punjab has been released. Korea is completely dead. Japan kind of explodes and takes him out. Manchu is here, is getting ganged up on by me and Russia and everyone. Yi breaks free from Miao, so I end up killing them, giving some of their stuff back to Ming and myself. I'm expanding with Yarkand up here. Kazakh is here. I end up tormenting them for a few years, them and Karadel. Eventually, I end up just annexing Kazakh. And then I release them later as my own vassal. I'm going to pretty aggressively expand with Yarkand here. Orissa dies down here. I've kind of extended a little branch into India. This is the farthest I get into India. It looks like I do end up getting down to here. That's the farthest I end up going down into India. The rest of my conquest is kind of up here. Yarkand is kind of expanding up here. I annex Ming at this point, and Yu is another one of my vassals. I've released Yu, so they're mine. And I believe I've also released Multan at this point. So this is also my vassal. He's kind of stuck out there in the middle of nowhere. We'll get to him. Just kind of clearing up borders here. Russia's also kind of pushing into China, and I want them not to push into China. You see, I fully annex Kazakh here. Things go pretty crazy up here pretty quick. I fully annex Kazakh, and then I release them, and then I reconquest a bunch of their territories from Transoxiana, while I start to annex Yarkand into my empire. I release Mongolia here. They don't get to do much. I was hoping I could use them against Russia, but it doesn't end up working out because Russia's kind of scary. I do make some more moves here into over here because Delhi decides that it can get the better of me. Delhi does some wild expanding down here. Unfortunately, that leaves them bordering the Ottomans this game. So if we want to take a look over at Europe, things are going pretty crazy. Spain really just pulls its weight this game. So yeah, the Ottomans are going crazy. And so everyone's going to kind of dogpile onto Delhi here eventually, and they're going to get beaten up. I've expanded Punjab a little bit and Multan. At this point, Kazakh stays about this size. At some point, yeah, so here we go. I end up attacking Japan. Everyone kind of dogpiles onto Japan, and I kind of jump in. And what happens is I take all these provinces and I release Korea. And so I'm going to use Korea to reconquest Korea, but I've also given them some provinces over here, and I'm going to kind of use them to take all of Japan and give it to Korea, as terrifying as that seems. I believe right now, this is owned by France, but I believe France declares war on me because they're an idiot, and so I'm going to take that from France here pretty quick here in a few seconds, I think. I do some clearing up over here. I kind of sit still for a long while. Oh, boop. There we go. I won a war against France. I'm going to attack Japan some more. Transoxiana is going to get beaten up quite a bit. Not too much progression happens in these last years. Some stuff happens here. Russia beats up on Japan some more. They're kind of really interested in Japan as well as me. That's going to create some conflict later. There goes Karadel, disappears. So we got Kazakh, Persia forms again. So Persia. It's gross. It's kind of gross. Afghanistan forms Persia after conquering Persia because they can do that, I guess. I've extended a little bit of Gujran and Multan, but you'll see Delhi kind of collapse a little bit here some more. You see I conquer Japan some more, and I do this nice little ringlet, and Russia's gonna kind of get a little bit upset at me for that. Don't worry. Russia's ideas are bad, and they declare war on me, and it's not going to go so well. We kind of beat up on Delhi here for a little bit, and we're going to beat up on Sabor later. At this point, Russia declares war on me. They lose, and I take a bunch more of Japan here, because really, Russia? And I believe one of the last things I do here is beat up on Delhi and take the rest of Korea here. And so I turn Korea into a march. Boom. Okay, so Garha belongs to me, as well as I get a little bit more expansion over here. And I actually take the province of Delhi, which is one of the quests for Manipur, actually. Took me a while to get to it. And that is where the game ends. So, I am not the largest great power in the world. Spain really carried this game. Spanish Brazil, they own a lot of Indonesia, Spanish Africa. So Spain actually ended up being the #1 great power in the end, but I was definitely second place. So, abbreviate, Manipur is me. I own Korea over here. They're my march. Kazakh is also a march, as well as Punjab, and then Garha and Multan are my vassals here at the end of the game. And that's pretty much how this game ended. Thanks for watching this little silly video on it. I just like to share with you guys what goes on. Like I said, I started right here in Manipur. My capital ended up over here in Beijing, since I'm the Emperor of China at this point. And thanks for watching, guys.